five core principles of lean not only drive the behaviors of an organization, but they also establish a mindset and a thought process for each individual. In this lecture, we will look deeper into the five core principles that were introduced earlier in the course. These five core principles are the principles introduced in the book Lean Thinking by James Womack and Daniel Jones. With that said, these are a starting point and, like any other improvement technique, should be adapted to fit the needs of your organization. As you innovate these principles, try to keep in mind the overarching goal is to develop a lean mindset. Let's look at the first of the five principles: define value from the customer's perspective. One of the most common mistakes made is to assume you know what your customers value. Creating value and eliminating waste both require you to accurately define value from the customer's perspective. Here is a great technique you can use to define value. Place yourself in the position of the customer and present yourself with a question. If I was the customer, would I be willing to pay for that? For example, would I be willing to pay for waiting? Or would I be willing to pay for rework? And finally, would I be willing to pay for machining that transforms a material correctly the first time into what I need? The second principle is to see the value stream. You may also hear this presented as identify the value stream, map the value stream, or even understand the value stream. Once you understand what it is that your customer needs from you, it is important to understand how to deliver that value to them. The path from raw materials or information to delivery is known as the value stream. A few different ways that you can see or identify the value stream are listed here. Go to the Gemba, map the value stream, observe the process, build a process map or a flowchart, or write down a simple list of the steps in the process. The third principle is to make value flow through the value stream. The goal here is to make customer value flow through the value stream as efficiently and effectively as possible. That means creating customer value and eliminating anything that is considered waste. Flow in the value stream can be disrupted a number of different ways, and all of the different constraints and bottlenecks should be reviewed and improved wherever possible. Three initial focuses that you can look at to improve the flow of the value stream are eliminating waste, improving the process, and balancing the various tasks and flow in the value stream. The fourth principle is to make only what the customer demands. This is not only involves implementing pull in your organization, but it also means avoiding anything that is not in demand and replenishing those items that are in demand. To put it simply, only produce what downstream customers and operators have demand for. The last principle can be summarized by saying, always get a little better and shoot for perfection. While many of us would prefer to snap our fingers and become perfect, this philosophical principle of lean reminds us that though we may never achieve perfection, small and simple improvements keep us moving closer to our goals every day. This is absolutely critical. Move forward. Get a little bit better every day. Some concepts that are absolutely necessary to consider in solidifying this lean principle are Kaizen, solve problems and frustrations daily, reward and recognize wins. As you can see, there is much more to these five principles than meets the eye. This thought process takes time to develop and in many cases will need to be repeated time and time again. As you learn more about lean, you will begin to innovate these principles and enhance your capabilities. With that said, let's move on to the next lecture.